The sole purpose of this video is to provide a basic overview and orientation of your new apparatus. This video is not intended to act as or replace individualized driver-operator training. Individual fire departments may base guidelines, policies, and procedures tailored for best practices. Pierce Manufacturing and Hughes Fire Equipment representatives are not liable for injuries caused from acts resulting from actions inconsistent with the information provided within this video and/or accompanying manuals. Refer to the Operation and Maintenance Manual for complete details relating to the components and features of this apparatus. Only trained personnel should operate this vehicle or perform maintenance. You are responsible for learning how to operate this fire apparatus under all conditions without having to refer to the manual while operating at an emergency incident. This video will discuss types of warnings and caution labels. It is your responsibility to locate and identify each of the labels and understand the importance and associated hazards. Warning labels will point out procedure that must be taken or action that must be avoided to guard against the possibility of serious injury or death. Caution labels will advise you that there is a risk of damage to property if certain precautions are not followed. Continuous training, reviewing of operation and service manuals, developing good standardized practices will assist driver operators with a more complete understanding of the components and operation of this fire apparatus. As the driver operator of this vehicle, you are responsible for understanding the function of each component of the apparatus, maintaining control of the fire apparatus at all times while in operation. Make operational and functional changes while operating at an emergency without having to read operator's instructions or safety warning labels. Operate manual override and emergency shutdown procedures immediately if a component fails to operate properly. Components location may vary with each Pierce fire apparatus. Review the exact location of each component prior to operation. Major inconsistencies between your vehicle and the information contained in this video should be directed to your sales representative. Safe operation of any vehicle is the responsibility of the driver operator. You must learn the location and function of all controls, switches, gauges, valves, inlets, and discharges. Due to a higher center of gravity, heavy trucks have a significantly higher rollover tendency than other types of vehicles. To reduce the risk of rollover, avoid making sharp turns, excessive speed, and avoid abrupt maneuvers. In the event of a rollover crash, an unbelted person is significantly more likely to become injured or die than a person wearing a seatbelt. In the event of a crash, unbuckled occupants can also become a hazard to other occupants, as they may be thrown around inside the cab. Seatbelts are required while in operation. Please refer to your warranty certificates for details and information enclosed in your manuals. Customer-installed equipment must be mounted to withstand road travel and comply with NFPA 1901. Modifications such as drilling holes or welding to structural frame components of the chassis are not permitted. Contact Pierce for instruction and review of non-structural sheet metal or other dissimilar metals for modification. Follow the radio installation guide for further assistance on installing or mounting electronics. Before placing your new apparatus into service, perform a primary inspection of key components of the apparatus, including all fluid levels, anti-lock braking systems, electronic stability control, and automatic traction control. Weigh your apparatus to ensure that it conforms to axle and brake ratings. Never exceed the gross axle rating printed on the label inside the cab. Exceeding these ratings could lead to reduced component life, personal injury, or death. Review the use of auxiliary braking systems, compression brake, exhaust brake, electronic retarder, and hydraulic retarder. Before placing the apparatus in service, refer to the operational maintenance manuals. Information on the operation and maintenance functions for the components such as the pump, pressure governor, and foam systems, along with other options, is provided in either the Pierce manuals and/or other manufacturer support information delivered with the apparatus. If you need more information, please contact Hughes Fire Equipment. Congratulations, Bellingham, Washington, on your new fire apparatus, job number 32619. Please utilize this job number when referencing your apparatus with Hughes Fire Equipment and Pierce Manufacturing. Let's get started on a brief orientation of your new Pierce Aero XT 110-foot ascendant ladder. Let's start down at the front bumper. You'll find emergency warning lights. Moving just inward of that location, you'll find dual air horns on the right and left side. Just inward of that location, you'll also find electronic speaker and PA speakers. Inward of that, at the frame wheel, you'll find two closed tow hooks forward facing. Moving up to the bumper on the inside extension area, you'll find a tubbed storage location for your bumper load, in addition with a swivel 1.5-inch discharge. Let's move up to the headlight structure, including the turn arrow indicator. You do have a marker light, turn indicator, and also low and high beam headlights. Moving just above the headlight cluster, you'll find an emergency warning light cluster of white and red lights. Just above that, on the right and left side, driver and passenger, you'll find grab handles to gain access to the window or a loft of your cab. You do have windshield wipers on the right and left, and just above that windshield, you'll find 5 running lights across the very top. Moving up to the very top of the apparatus, forward-facing and side-facing, you do have emergency warning lights. Let's move down from that location. On the right and left side, you'll find your mirror. The top section will be flat, the bottom section is convex. We also have grab handles located at all points of access. You do have 2 keyed locks for your entry door. There is a bullet-style side-facing camera on the passenger side. Moving up, you do have emergency warning lights moving from front to rear, in addition with side-facing scene lights. Let's move now to the front section of your aerial. There are emergency lights at the very top, and then also down at the lower section you can see currently illuminated. Those are your running lights. Just above that location you'll find your Opticom forward facing. Just above that you'll find a forward facing LED floodlight. Here's a quick view of the side of your bucket area, the 110-foot. Let's move down just underneath the bucket area. We'll cover some of the items here. First, you have a down-facing floodlight. There are 4 rubber stoppers located here to protect the bottom of your bucket. And then you also have in the left side of the image the downward sprinkler. As we move to the nozzle portion, you'll find this is a TFT 1250 combination nozzle. Close up here of the headlight emergency light structure, in addition with the tubbed storage location, front discharge 1.5-inch swivel. Let's move now to the side of the apparatus. Just behind the front doors, you'll find additional storage compartments. Each of the compartments has LED lighting. They are also additional shelving locations inside those compartments. Let's move now to the side compartment. First, this is your CAFS system. At the very top, the red module. This is going to be your foam indicator as to how much foam is in the tank. Just beneath that, you'll find your electronic valve for your front bumper. And then the blue section here is your Pierce Hercules CAFS system. And we'll go over those in just a little bit for some more detail. First, there are some instructions here for the 60-gallon CAFS system. There are also instructions and specifications. As you can see, read the owner's manual for operational needs. This is your foam level indicator on the left. You can also have information here for your generator start and stop. This is the discharge electronic valve for the front bumper. Moving down, once again, your Hercules CAFS system. Let's go ahead and move now in the same compartment just up above this location where you'll find 3 power converters. Moving down on the forward wall, you're going to find your breakers for your continuous power supply. This is for your Onan 7.5 generator. You'll also find a placard near this area indicating G1, which stands for generator, and these are the breakers individually controlled for those individual items. As we move outside, this is just where the outriggers come. This is your location camera for placing those outriggers. Above that main compartment, you'll find additional storage. There are 2 D handles here to gain access into this compartment. Let's move back now to the outrigger location here. As you look at the outrigger, you'll find this danger label regarding electrocution, and you'll also find a crush injury warning. As we move directly above the outrigger, you'll find this pan door with a D handle. This is the location of your 200-foot electrical cord. This is a 20-amp electrical box. The cord rewind for this is just below at foot level. Slightly to the right, you'll find the water fill location, in addition with overflow bleed and water fill line drain. As we move just in front of the dual tires, you'll find your DEF fill location. It is a blue cap. There is a caution label here regarding diesel exhaust and the DEF fluid. And you also have an indicator here for the amount of DEF in the tank. Let's move now in between the dual tires. You'll find SCBA bottle storage locations. There is actually 4. The center one will lift up. As we move further to the next section, you'll find this warning label regarding that only trained personnel should operate this equipment, and to see the owner's manual. This compartment does have a pull-out drop-down shelf. Those are the 2 release mechanisms. Moving to the next compartment, you'll find adjustable shelving and LED lighting. As we move to the rear section of the apparatus, this is just behind the rear tire, you'll find your fill location for your ultra low sulfur diesel fuel. And then just next to it, you'll find an SCBA bottle storage location with a retention strap. To remove the ladder in this location, there are 2 requirements. First, remove the latches and then open the doors, gaining access to the ladder. Just above that, you'll find LED side-facing lights. In the rear compartment, or close to the rear compartment here, we'll find adjustable shelving and LED lighting. And once again, just behind the rear tire, you'll find this 6000 straight pull. This is for a receiver for additional rescue ropes. Moving to the right, you'll find your 2 pads for your outriggers. It's a general view here of the side of the apparatus, upper portion including the ladder. As we gain access for the step area, you'll find in between the steps, first a step light and an inclinometer from front to back, green, yellow, and red indicator. In between the step area, you'll find an access panel. And let's go ahead and go aloft. This is going to be looking from the back section or pedestal looking forward. Let's cover a couple items here on the pedestal. There are a few warning indicators here. 1, this is an electrical shock because of that aerial device. There is also crush injury label also. There are 2 pan style doors here. We'll cover the contents of those in just a moment. And then just beneath that, you'll find a walkway light. Although somewhat difficult to see in this image, there is a black audible speaker located here. Let's look in the pedestal area behind those pan doors. You'll find the extension, rotation, and elevation controls. Please see your owner's manual for how to operate this properly. In addition, with how to operate the calibration portion, which is located in the next pan door down. Let's go ahead and go to the pedestal area. Here's a general view with the lid in the open position. You'll find additional information on the left side, but first let's cover some of the items here. Starting at the top in the red, you'll find your emergency stop. This is a push button. Moving to the right, you'll find ladder illumination. These are the lights that illuminate within the ladder walk area. There are also tip lights, which would be lights at the very tip of your apparatus ladder. And then there are also tracking lights, would be at the base of the ladder shining upward. And then you have your aerial speed, which would be either normal or in fast. To the right, you do have a momentary emergency hydraulic power. And then all the way to the very far right, you have your Pierce command zone. Tremendous amount of information here at your fingertips. Please see the owner's manual for more information on this. Further to the right, you're going to find your nozzle control for stream fog, straight left and right, and also lower and raise. And you also have your ladder control, extend, retract, right, left, and lower and raise. Your vehicle is equipped with an intercom system. This is the speaker located at the very top. Down to the lower section, you'll find volume control with the LED lights indicating the volume level and a push to talk.
Let's move to the panel area here. This is on the left-hand side of the cover. You'll find your ascendant ladder waterway dry with 35-mile-an-hour wind conditions. And then to the very far right, waterway charged. This is at a 35-mile-an-hour wind condition. There's also information here on your nozzle monitor positions. And then there are also some asterisks down at the lower portion here for capacities based on the following conditions, which may include ice. In the upper left-hand side, you'll find your specifications for setup for the NFPA 1911 testing, and then you'll find your Pierce adjustment specifications in the lower left. Please see your owner's manual once again for more information on this area. On the side of the ladder near the pedestal, you'll find this inclinometer from 0 to -10 and from 0 to 80 degrees. On the right-hand side, or passenger side, you'll find a ground ladder located on the base of the ladder. We're now at the cab area. Difficult to kind of identify, but this is the cab of the apparatus. There are some do not step in this area. Those are for firefighter safety. That's why those are there. As we look to the section, you'll find at the very front your LED lighting for emergency lights, and then just behind that, you're going to find your side-facing LED floodlights. Also on the ladder, you'll find at the very fly section, there are 2 scabbard locations for chainsaws. You also have, once again, the TFT master stream device located just underneath the ladder. We'll go over some of those items in a moment. As we move to the very front section of the bucket, you will find a stop. You'll also find controls for lights, bucket movement, and also stream movement. And then to the very far right, you'll find the ladder control, and we'll go over that in just a moment. Let's take a look to the right-hand side of the bucket area. You'll find this ascendant placard. This is the same placard located at the pedestal. As we look to the left, you'll find some warning here regarding fall restraint required while operating in the bucket. And you also find the possibility of crush injury. That's what this warning labels here. And then also a slew of warning and danger stickers here. Please see your owner's manual and make sure you're trained prior to operating this piece of equipment. Your vehicle is equipped also with an intercom. There is volume control. There is no push to talk because it is active and passive. On the left, you'll find the emergency stop. Once it is activated, you'll see the emergency stop light will illuminate. And then to the right, you'll see this flash as you extend the ladder. This is indicating that your rungs are aligned for firefighter climbing. You also have a command set of switches up in the area. First, the up of the bucket to increase or decrease the bucket's angle. And then you also have a level bucket also. There are also activations here for lights, in addition with stream controls. Let's move to the right. You'll find this module. There is a red button on the outer edge. This is going to be your aerial movement joystick. You can see the instructions around the outer edges of that joystick. This is the red button that I was referring to activate before you move the aerial ladder. General view here from the front of the apparatus looking backwards. As we move to the walkways, I would like to point out there are lighting in addition with diamond reflective safety markers. As we move to the dunnage area of your apparatus, this is the location of the stored energy for your CAFs. Couple images here just to kind of give you a situation where it's located. Directly in the dunnage area, this is your 60-gallon CAFs tank. What powers this is the air bottles, which are located on the adjacent wall, which I have an image of here shortly. There is a shut-off switch down in the lower section where that hose comes out, and as you can see, there are 3 air bottles here to operate the CAFs system. Let's take a close-up here a distant shot here of the left side of the vehicle. We'll move also to the right side of the vehicle just for a general perspective. We'll now move to the rear section of the apparatus and cover some of the items within this area. First, let's start with a couple of warning labels here. Electrocution hazard, that's what this warning label and danger label is for. There's also a do not ride on the back of the apparatus, including a warning label here regarding pressurized caps and the associated hazards while removing a cap under pressure. In addition with those tow hooks, that those are a direct pull and you should not pull in the upward position. On the left and right, you have your brake, turn, and backup. There are also emergency warning lights located on the low section and then the upper section. You do have 2 back or scene lights, and there is a switch that controls those scene lights here in this cupped location. As we move down to the very bottom, we're going to find the inlet for your aerial. Just above that aerial inlet, you'll find the pressure gauge for that aerial inlet. And then slightly to the right, you'll find a left to right inclinometer. Green is what you're looking for setup of your vehicle. Yellow is a caution area, and red is not to utilize. Located just beneath the ladder compartment, you'll find a pan door which houses the drain for your aerial ladder. Up at the very top, you'll find your traffic advisor, and in the center, you'll find your backup camera. There are additional compartments located here. I'd like to talk about some of those items. First, behind the logo, the large roll-up door is what stores your ground ladders. And then there are 3 additional compartments here, and we'll go over those individually. Underneath the walkway area, you'll find LED lighting for ease of access and identifying those ladders. Here are the ground ladders, in addition with long tools in the upper left-hand corner. As we move to the compartment just underneath the ladders, you'll find your aerial emergency power and also stabilizer emergency power. This is a selector switch. Down in the lower section, you'll find the control for stabilizers and aerial, and then the color-coded valves for each of those. There are also some danger and warning labels here. Here is a close-up of the aerial or stabilizer control. You'll push the switch in the direction that you want to operate. This is the location of the drain. This is a ball valve to allow it. There's also just inside the relief valve. Close up here of the aerial inlet. Rear scene lights. This is the cup switch that turns on those aerial light or the scene lights to the rear. Inside the one pan door, you'll find your emergency stop. You do have a red light once that's been indicated, and then you do have a protected override switch. To the right, you'll find stabilizer power, which is a green LED indicator. And then to the right, you have your diagnostic information interface. Just beneath that, the cord is where you'll find your remote control to control the stabilizers. In the upper compartment here, you're going to find an additional ladder and also some long tools. In between the stair area, you'll find access to the modules. This would be for maintenance work. Once again, on the aerial outriggers, you're going to find some warning labels here regarding crush injury and also not to ride on the side of your apparatus. As we move through some of the compartments here, you do have bottle storage location here and also a protective strap here to hold those bottles. As we move through some of the compartments, I will identify adjustable shelving LED lighting. In this compartment between the duals, SCBA bottle storage. In the center, you can lift that center section for an additional storage location. Let's go ahead and move down to the front section of the wheel. This is where you'll find your exhaust warning label, extremely hot diesel exhaust temperatures. Be cautious as to where you park. You'll also find on the outrigger your danger regarding electrocution and also crush injury. Here is the exhaust pipe for your main engine. There is also an exhaust pipe here for your generator. And then you can see just in front of that your folding wheel chock, and then all the way to the front you do have a push foot pedal for the reel rewind. As we move forward, this is that foot pedal for the 120 VAC 20 amp 200 foot electrical reel cord and the junction box associated just above the outrigger. As we look just in front of the outrigger location, you'll find this next compartment, adjustable shelves, LED lighting. You'll also find the location for your cab lift. There are some danger and caution stickers here in addition with cab lift instructions. Let's go ahead and go inside the cab. You'll find at all points of entry for firefighter, there is significant warning labels here regarding the use of seat belts. As we move through the cab, I'll identify a few items. You do have a Firecom headset system located for the passenger on the rear section. In between those two locations, you do have a storage location with netting and also a light inside that storage location. Push on and off white LED lights overhead. Your AC unit. Once again, front door, points of entry for firefighters. Some safety information here and the use of seat belts. Here's a warning label regarding that. Seatbelts are red in color for easily identifying if individuals have their seatbelts on. This vehicle is equipped with a supplemental restraint system, an airbag. Make sure you don't mount anything in those airbag locations. We're now on the passenger side where you'll find your speedometer and also an additional air brake. As we move just to the left of this location, the center console, you're going to find your siren brake. You'll find a access point for USB style plug-in, 12-volt access, and then to the right you'll find your vehicle data recorder. Let's move just to the rear of this section here. This is the center console area. You're going to find your siren control and PA speaker control. Just beneath that you'll find your stabilizer camera, your platform leveling, which is in red. You also have window controls here for driver's side and passenger side front windows, and then also driver's side and passenger side cab windows. Let's move down to the next set of switches where you'll find a future location for 4 switches, an indication here that your generator is running in green, and then also the red start-stop switch for your generator and also preheat. Overhead you'll find your front flood, driver's side flood, passenger side flood, rear scene, side scene, driver's side alley, and passenger side alley. There is also a programmable switch that is if you need a future switch location located on the far right. This is your FireCom control module. Moving down from that, this is the base system for your FireCom wireless system. And as we move to the driver's area, you'll find once again red seat belts in addition with a warning to utilize those seat belts. You'll also find additional information here, warning labels regarding for your firefighter safety, including utilizing your owner's manual. Down to the right side about the right ankle area, you're going to find this placard in yellow for the city of Bellingham. It has the manufacturer date, December 2018, job number. It also has the chassis information, including the VIN, fluid capacities for the components, fluid capacity, and also type. There is also your gross vehicle weight ratings located in this. Down in the cab section, this is the step area. You'll find your air inlet. You also have an air outlet and also an air shutoff control. Let's move up from this location. On the left foot of the operator is where you'll find this foot pedal for your mechanical siren. And then as we move about left knee of the operator, you'll find the master battery switch. It is in red. It's a quarter turn. Just beneath that, you're going to find an emergency shutdown, push to activate, pull to reset. This is for your engine. You'll also have in the green your engine, transmission, ABS diagnostic port. To the right, you have a display port for plugging for, this is all for mechanical information. And then also your tech module plug-in. These are for your service modules. To the left-hand side, you're going to find all of your DPF regen and engine diagnostic information switches on the left. As we move up from this location, you're going to find the load manager, cab lock, which is not engaged, that's an indicator, mirror heat, off-road traction, and your IRT disable. You'll also find controls on the column itself for push for tilting of your column and also for adjustments of your steering wheel. On the left-hand side, you're going to find the ignition switch. Just up from that, you'll find the start switch, and all the way at the very top, you'll find the hazard lights. Moving just to the right in the small cluster, near the dash, you'll find a small EM switch. This stands for Emergency Master. This will activate your emergency lights. Just to the right of light is your parking and headlight control switch, and then further to the right you have a increase or decrease illumination within the dash area. This is the bright and dim switch. Just down in the lower right hand corner you'll find your interaxle differential lock. When it is in the locked position, you will find this red light illuminating. You also have just above that the high idle switch and an OK to engage the high idle switch. Let's move to the steering wheel. Your vehicle is equipped once again with a front airbag. There is an airbag inside the steering area, and there is also left and right steering controls for ease of access. Let's look to the dash. First on the left, you have your transmission, oil, DEF level, and water temperature. To the very far right, you'll find your volts, fuel, front and rear air. Located in the center, you'll find your tach and speedometer. You have informational diagnostic information above and below the speedometer. You'll also find this placard for your height, 12 feet 6 inches, length 45 feet 10 inches, gross vehicle weight rating of 70,800 pounds. This is also an additional area where you can find your job number. Let's go ahead and go overhead and look at some of the switches in this area. First, we're going to find your emergency master, which is in red, which is also the same activation switch for your steering and also on the left-hand side beneath the set of gauges. Roof light, front warning, side warning, lower rear warning, upper rear warning, high beam flash, and also your opticom. Just to the right of that, you'll find your front flood, driver's side flood, passenger side flood, and also rear scene. The next section down is going to be your side scene, driver's side alley, passenger side alley, and then this is a backup override for the audible alarm. Just to the right of that, you'll find your traffic advisor. There's a power on and off switch for that, and then the function control. As we look to the right, you're going to find your Pierce Information Center. Tremendous amount of help once again here at your fingertips. Please see your owner's manual. In the upper right, you'll find climate control for defrost, heat, and AC. Beneath that, you'll find a set of rocker switches, which we'll go over momentarily. And then down in the lower section, you'll find your Allison transmission pad. Just to the right of the dash cluster is where you'll find your parking brake, pull to apply the system parking brake, push to release. You'll also find your Pierce Command Zone Center located within ease of the operator's vision. Climate control, heat and defrost, and also AC. The next set of switches down, you'll find your engine brake on and off, setting for your engine brake, whether it's in low, medium, or high. And there's also a caution label here regarding disengaging your retarder when your vehicle is on wet or slippery surfaces. To the right, aerial master, aerial PTO, front wheel lock, and the start-stop for your generator. You'll also find your Allison transmission pad located on the right-hand side. These are your mirror controls for the flat and convex mirror. If we look directly behind the driver's seat, you'll find your air compressor when plugged into shore power. This will maintain your air brakes. Also to the rear section in the cab area, you'll find your oil and transmission for your daily checks. This is just to the rear in the cab section. Congratulations, Bellingham, Washington, on your new fire apparatus, job number 32619. If you have any questions regarding your apparatus, please contact your Hughes Fire Sales Representative. Congratulations.